When you have made edits to your page, or you've created a new page, or any time that you want to get your content, the changes you made, or the new page to the web, you're going to have to publish it or push it through the workflow. And I want to show you how to go about that process, whether it's a small or change or you created a whole new page. The process is the same. In this, I've opened up the student life page, and I've made a small edit to the bottom. I've just added this little phrase, this page maintained by the way, good suggestion for you to do also, and the email address of the person who maintains the page. Makes it easy for someone to contact you should there be a problem, comment, suggestion about the content of the page. Okay, I've made that small change. I'm coming over, clicking accept. I'll go up and click save. It's a normal process anytime you make an edit. Now, it's saved, I've got my edits there, and now I'm ready. That's all the changes I'm going to make, so I'm ready to push it to the web. I want it to go live. I want to see it on the website. The next thing I want to do is go to the Review tab. It's up here at the top. Go to the Review tab. This is something that you need to do, and you have to make a judgment as to if you do this on every single edit or not. If it's a very minor edit like this one, it's not really going to be a big need to do a spell check. You will definitely still want to do the markup and the validation, but spelling may not be something that you'd have to do. But these three items, you should work through each one. Now I'm going to open up the spell check, and it's going to look for, and sometimes it picks up code. This is code that you don't necessarily see. It says the spell check is complete. It's done. Okay. Now, just go through it, make any corrections, and then let it run its course. The second one is the markup. This is really important. You do this every time because any changes to the page can make a change in the code that's in the background. And when you click this, it's going to open in a new window, and in this new window it's going to send it to a validator page. And if you scroll down, you will either get this message saying that it was successfully checked, or it will say that it has failed. Now, if it did fail, it will give you the reasons for the failure and how many places in the document that had a problem. And anytime that you run into this, if you don't know how to correct this or it doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. Simply, send me an email saying that you had problems with the page, tell me what page, and unlock it. Make sure and unlock it, and I'll go into it and see if I can help you out, because most of the time this is something to do with the HTML code itself. Okay, this one has passed, so I don't have to worry about that. Close this window. The last test is called validation, and it's looking for things that are potentially problems with the page. Now, these usually are dealing with ADA, disability type issues. And I will say, and you notice these are all green, but one is yellow. They'll either be green, yellow, or red. Red means it's definitely an error. Yellow means this potentially could be a problem. And most of the time, anything up in this top section is not going to be able to be fixed by you or I. It's case TCS matter. So if you see something up here, as long as it's not red, if it's red, you might alert me to it. But if it's yellow, that's something, it's either a little quirk in the system or they're working on something that's causing that issue. Otherwise, you should have all green boxes down here, and if you don't, it will give you an indicator of what the problem is. Once again, if you don't know how to correct it, that's fine. Let me know, and I will get with you and help you to make sure that your page gets corrected, and we can make sure that whatever happened maybe doesn't happen again. So basically, we're good here. So I'm going to say close. So we went through the spelling, made the HTML markup, make sure it's okay, checked for the ADA, and now we're ready to submit. You won't see this button up here, but you should see a submit button. And the submit button allows you to push it into the workflow, and I'll explain the workflow in a minute. Once you click this, you're not going to be able to edit the page until it comes back out of workflow. So what you need to do is, this is already edited. I've already went through my checks, so I'm going to click submit. Oop, forgot to save. So it's going to prompt you, you sure you want to do this, you're going to save it. So I save the item. And then right here, this can be helpful to us if you've just made a really minor edit, if you've just, you know, changed a word or a typo or something like that. You might want to just put a little note, you know, added email link. And there, I'll show you the reason for that in a minute, but that helps us to know how big of a change it was. Do we need to look at the entire page? If this has already went through this entire process and you went back and you made a simple, corrected a simple typo or grammar error, we don't have to go all the way back through that document again, and it can take some time. So you don't have to put anything in here, but if it's a minor edit, you let us know, it helps us out. So when this pops up, I click submit, this pops up, put a little note. If you feel like it's necessary, click OK, and this is going to lock it. It's going to go back and it's going to keep it in lock mode until it comes out of the workflow. Now, I will say that right now there is not an alert system for the marketing department or the web services area. We have to go in and look at this to see whether someone has submitted something to the workflow. So it's a good idea to just send an email. Here at the college, it will be the person in charge of marketing, which is going to be the public relations director, and the web services area, which will be myself, the webmaster. Send us an email saying, hey, I just pushed a page through, you know, take a look at it and see if it's okay. And that's your end of it. Once you've done this, you're done until we either accept or reject it. I do want to show you in the workbox, just right here is where the draft, there's draft, first approval, second approval, approved, and rejected. At any point, when you're editing a page, it stays in the draft mode. And I can look at those and see who's working on pages and what pages they are. Okay? On the second approval or first approval, which is where this one went from draft, submitted it, it went to first approval. This goes to the marketing department and they can approve or reject it. If they approve it, it goes to second approval, which is the web services area. If they reject it, it goes back to draft, meaning that you need to make additional changes or edits before it can be pushed through the workflow. So it comes to first approval. This would be the local public relations director will look at this, make sure the page is okay. If they say it's okay, they click approve. They have the ability to put a note in. Once they approve it, it goes to second approval, which is when it comes to me. And I have the same ability. We can preview it, open it, look at the difference in the last two versions, and we can approve or reject it. And if I click approve, it's going into the approve stage here, and then I can submit to publish. And it's on the web. So that's how you submit a document. And like I said, if we find an error, we reject it, but we also let you know why so that you can make a correction. Or a lot of times we just make the correction. If we find something very minor, we just make a change and push it on through.